Have you ever noticed how grass grows through a sidewalk? The persistence it must have to see itself through, the determination to feel the warmth and reach out and touch the sun must be overwhelming. In our life, we all know what it's like to have that persistent day, whether it's achieving our masters or figuring out how to make the transition from the pitcher's mound to the home plate to home, or the average people in our lives and how we can make the difference. Well, allow me to take you into a day in my life where persistence was tested to the point. It was 1997, May, and I woke up in the best and jovial mood. See, this was the day I was going to talk to Wynoma. Wynoma was this girl that when my parents would drive me to school, I would see her walking and I immediately fell in love. She had these brown khaki pants that just clinged her to just so right, and a halter top that was perfect because puberty at that time had done her a ton of favors. And she had her hair scared dude perfectly to the brim. Eyeliner lined her lips, and she had eyeliner that went from her eyes to her earlobes. She was exotic, but in the 90s we just called her a chola. But she always wore these shoes, perfectly white, that I always noticed, Nike Cortez, and I had the same pair, so automatically that made it. We were soulmates. The reason why this day was the best of days because my parents would always take me and I would look and my father would be like, "Are you looking at that girl?" Remember, girls cause nothing but chaos and mayhem. And I always used to say, "Why no, Pa?" But my mother, saying the exact same thing, had a different way of saying it. I would catch her eye and she'd be like, "Kenny, are you looking at that girl? You need to focus on your studies. Remember, women cause nothing but chaos and mayhem." And I used to say, "Why no, Ma?" And from that point on, that girl was Wynoma. The day was so special because I had just got my driver's license and I was going to talk to Wynoma on my way to school. I peeped out the window. The car was shining brightly in the sun because I had polished it the night before. I got into the shower, blaring Power 102, jammed to Smash Mouth's hit that just came out. "Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play." The stars were aligned. This day was perfect. I got out and I remember looking in the mirror. I brushed a few hairs that occupied my top lip, then I combed the 3 long ones that grew from my chin. I remember getting down and I was rocking out push-ups, and I would get up hoping I would have that Arnold body, but it wasn't there, and I had to settle for what I had. I doused myself in my dad's whole bottle of Brut cologne. I'm sure he didn't mean for me to do that, but I wasn't taking any chances. I put every kind of mousse in my dreadlocks to make sure they stayed in the perfection I had put them in. I wanted to make sure I had the best outfit I had, so I put on my corduroy Jinko jeans and made sure I had my large white shirt and my FUBU sweater vest yellow, because my mom always said bright colors made me look perfect, and I was perfect. Mind you, it was May in El Paso. I grabbed my backpacks and I acted like I did this before. I walked out and I said, "Mom, where are the keys?" She said, "They are hanging up." I go look and I didn't see them. I said, "Mom, they're not hanging up." She says, "Look again." And that's when I saw them. The keys to my dad's 1982 two-door Ford Focus hatchback with no AC. Mind you, my dad said, "It does have AC. It's called 2x4. 2 windows, 4 wheels." But like a blade of grass that grows through the sidewalk, I was not going to let this get me down. I was persistent to reach out and feel the warmth and touch the sun. So I grabbed the keys and I was out the door. I get to the car and I opened the door and it felt like I opened the oven on Thanksgiving Day. It was so hot. I threw my backpack in and I sat in there, and all of a sudden I became the turkey on Thanksgiving. I reached over to roll down the passenger side and said, barely cracked. I went to the driver's side and they said, cracked even less. I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw a sliver of white sweat come down. The moose was starting to lose his hold, but like a blade of grass that grows through the sidewalk, I was persistent in my day and determined to see it through. I wiped it off and I was on my way. As I was driving, I was thinking, what am I going to say to her? "Hey, Wynoma, how are you?" "That's stupid." "Oh, hey, you want to get in the car?" "That's creepy." "Oh, okay, what am I going to do?" And then I had it. And then I pulled around the corner and there she was. I slowed the car up to get ready to ask her, and I did one more look in the rear view, and I was horrified at what I saw. All this mousse had sweated onto my face. I looked like a ghost. And then I noticed I had stopped right next to her, and she was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and I did the next best thing, and I just took off and got out of there. I went to school, and I got to the bathroom, and I washed my face. cleaned myself up, and I looked at myself like a blade of grass. I'm determined to see my day through. I will touch the sun and feel its warmth. I remember she used to talk to a girl I had in my home ec class, and I immediately went into correspondence mode and pulled out a note and wrote a letter. If you like me, meet me by the courtyard and page me 41. Back in the day, around the time the Toastmasters speech was written, we had pagers. And we used to always text each other 41. You turn it upside down and said, hi. So I gave it to a friend. I wrote Wynoma. She confusingly took it. And I was like, okay. First period, nothing. Second period, nothing. Oh, God. Third period. There it was, my pager. I looked. 41. I turned it upside down and I said, hi. I said, hi back. This was it. I was feeling the warmth. I could help it. My persistence was paying off. Lunchtime came and I walked outside, and there she was, standing off in the distance. I slowly walked out, and it was like a movie montage. Song was playing, hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play, and people were walking by me looking at me weird, and then I realized I was really walking slow. I was so nervous, so I gathered myself and I walked up, and I don't know if it was she just looked in my direction and smiled and it was someone behind me, or she was looking at me, but I felt it. Like a blade of grass that broke through the sidewalk, I felt the warmth, and I was about to touch the sun. And I walked towards her. She was eating chinos, leaning against a tree, and it was drizzled in cheese and using a fork to eat it, so I pulled out a gum just in case. This was my moment. We got closer to each other, and then that's when it happened. See, this was a day my school had a riot, and all chaos and mayhem broke out. And the news would say it was a gang war, but then I was like, oh my God, my mom was right. Women cause chaos and mayhem. And in my moment of romanticism, I yelled, Wynoma, take my hand! And then I realized her name's not Wynoma. And like a blade of grass that grows to the sidewalk, I realized I was destined to only feel the warmth. And when I got home, my mom asked me, what happened today? Are you okay? And all I could say was, Wynoma. Thank you.